Tim, this is Danny Smith. Just calling to tell you how much I appreciate listening to your show, Truckers' Voices. It's very informative. I really like hearing the drivers' stories, how they got into the trucking industry and maybe what kind of trucks they started out with. And it's just been a lot of fun, and I would encourage any drivers out
And I listen to Truckers' Voices every Thursday evening from 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern on Facebook or YouTube with host Taylor and co-host Steve Brand because it keeps me informed. There.
Hi, this is Scott Post, and I love Truckers' Voices because there's always something entertaining and educational for our industry. And it's also hosted by two of my good friends, Tim Taylor and Steve Brad. Tune in tonight. And in the meantime, be safe out there. Y'all sit back, relax, enjoy the show. Tim and Steve got a good one in store for you. So have a good night. We'll see you.
Hi, this is Tony Wainwright. I hope you enjoy listening to Truckers' Voices as much as I do. Now, without any further ado, kick back, kick your shoes off, air your corns out, and get ready to listen. Kick back, kick your shoes off, air your corns out, and get ready to listen to another fine show.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. I hope everybody had a great day of trucking there. Had a little bit of skipping and delaying going on the internet there, and I think my internet might be skipping and delaying. I don't know. I got to get that thing figured out, but anyway, I hope everybody's doing good tonight. I hope that you all had a great day of trucking there. We got a good show for you guys tonight. We got a gentleman by the name of Evan Shelley coming on with us, and he is the co-founder and CEO of TruckParkingClub.com. We all know, and you've all seen the trucks that's on the side of the road that's parking, trying to get their break in, trying to get their rest in. And you know that we all know that there is a problem in this nation with truckers trying to find parking. And we're going to bring Evan on here a little bit and let him explain to us about what he's got going on and the solution that he has for truck parking out there, and what we can do to help him. And we're just going to find out his story on how he got this thing started. But it's going to be a very interesting show out there, especially for some of you OTR drivers that's listening to us. Now, if you're listening to us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, you can go back and rewind it and listen to it as much as you want to, if you find something that you might want to revisit there. But I do want to say that before we get started, that the views expressed on the show are those of the host and guests only and do not reflect those of others. So, hey, we got that out of the way there. I'm going to bring old Steve Brand on in here and let him greet everybody. So y'all just hang tight. Let me drag him on in here.
Oh, Tim.
Steve, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing all right, man. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing good. If I could get this internet to quit dragging on me, I don't know if you noticed that, but at the beginning of the show, it started dragging on me a little bit.
Yeah, I noticed that. Y'all got some weather down there or something?
No, man, nice, clean, clear skies, 70-something degrees. It's just nice up here in Valdosta.
So, I don't know. That's above my pay grade. If it don't work right, I don't understand. But, hey, I hope everybody's having a good evening. Hope everybody had a good day of trucking, good week of trucking. We've got Memorial Day weekend coming up, so that means the highways are already busy. They fixing to get a whole lot busier, and want everybody to be patient. Just relax. You'll get there. You'll get where you're going, no problem. Give us a little time. We'll be out of your way. Already starting to get this from the kids. I like it, man. I like it. But
Speedo today, man, coming out of the ATL up there, man. I tell you, it's always a challenge to go to Atlanta and come back. It's always a challenge, no matter where you're going in Atlanta, no matter what day it is. But it was almost times 10 today trying to get back out of Atlanta. And I noticed that the travel volume is just up. And tomorrow, everybody's going to be trying to get the heck out of Dodge to get to where they're going. So I just want to encourage everybody to slow down, be careful, and, just be as professional as you can.
Exactly. They said on TV up here, today was the busy travel day. Everybody taking off a little bit early. I think they said something about 37 million people is going to be traveling or something like this. I don't know. Maybe it's 370 million. I don't know. It's a bunch of them, though. But again, you want to reiterate, just slow down, take your time. If traffic gets pretty congested, don't get aggravated. Pull over. And what are we talking about? Parking. Pull over and park for a little bit. Grab some lunch, grab some dinner, grab a snack. Let the kids run a little wild or something. I don't know. But
let me ask you a question, Steve.
Yes, sir.
You did OTR there before, your freight days there. So tell me a little bit about what kind of problems that you might have experienced out there when you was doing OTR as far as with parking.
Yeah, well, that was back from 1989 to 1996. Of course, now with the business that we're in, we're home every day. We park on our own lots, but we do have the other trucks that we take out across country. You try to find a place to park, take your 30-minute break. It's a little tough. Way back when in the late 80s, early 90s, it wasn't too bad, but it was getting that way. And, matter of fact, when I leave the terminal every morning, I go down Executive Boulevard, and there's businesses all down through there. And I've noticed signs that say no overnight parking.
Yeah.
And back in my day, you always called the shipper, called the receiver. Hey, you got a place I can park? Can I park on your lot? That way you're there. Most of them was accommodating, so to speak.
Right.
But then every once in a while you get in, some of them, they was kind of like around the residential area. They'd say, yeah, you can park here, but you can't idle here. We don't want the noise, all that stuff. But yeah, I've noticed parking is getting, I work daytime, but I leave early in the morning, especially on Mondays. And man, I go by the rest areas. They're packed in there. They're lined up on the shoulders. It's dangerous. It's dangerous. So I'm going to be real, get locked into. I'm watching the comments coming across here, trying to figure it out. But yeah, it's and there's getting more and more trucks on the road, which is good. That means we're hauling a lot of commodities. But yeah, it's definitely an issue.
Oh yeah. Well, I tell you what, I know we got Evan waiting in the virtual green room back there, but what I want to do before we bring him out, I actually want to show if it'll play good. If not, I'll just cut it off and we'll just go to him. But I want to show this video that he has of what Truck Parking Club is about. It's not it's for the driver, but it's also for people that might have land too, that or parking facilities that they could lease on with him and all. So let's watch this video and then we'll bring him in here. Okay.
No, I did.
Property owner with vacant land or a broker with extra parking space. By monetizing vacant properties for landowners, brokers earn revenue for your clients' unused property while earning a recurring commission. The TruckParkingClub.com model has no leases or commitment. If you have leased or sold the property, spaces as small as 75 by 14 feet
You're muted. Unmute yourself, buddy.
Hey, I'm back.
Go.
I'm back.
There
Hey,
you
I'm just going to cut it because it's just not going to play it. And I actually downloaded it in a different format too, so that may be something to do with it. So I got to go back to some of the old ways of doing it. But hey, you know what? What better? Who can explain it better than the man himself? So let's bring Evan in here real quick, okay?
All right.
We'd like to give everybody a proper introduction there, Evan. So we brought you in on the Rocky theme there, okay? Can you hear him there, Steve?
Can you guys hear me?
Now we can hear you. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
we got you now.
Gotcha.
We got you there. So, hey, you know what? We like to bring everybody in on a good introduction there.
That's right.
Well, welcome to Truckers Voices, and you know, we want to hear your story, and we're just going to let you tell us all about Truck Parking Club, and just, you know what, the floor is yours, and just go ahead and take the liberty, take the time, and then we'll come back and ask some questions ourselves. Okay?
Okay, cool. So my name is Evan Shelley. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Truck Parking Club. Truck Parking Club is a network of reservable hourly, daily, and monthly truck parking locations throughout the U.S. Those locations are made up of business owners like trucking companies with extra space in their yard, CDL schools with extra space, self-storage companies, tow truck companies, real estate investors, things of that nature. So what we do is we help truckers find those locations which may not normally be available to the public. So if, let's say, a trucking company has extra space in the yard, typically that's not something that they're going to advertise. It's going to be word of mouth that they have some space available. If they fill it up, great. If they don't, great. What we do is we put those types of places on one platform where if a trucker's rolling down the road and he needs parking in West Fort Worth and he's on the Truck Parking Club app, he's going to be able to reserve that space out of that trucker's lot where, you know, before, if he didn't know that trucking company, he wouldn't be able to find a place to park in that area. So what we say is there's a huge truck parking shortage, but there's also a huge truck parking awareness shortage. If you don't know it's there and it's available, is it really there? It could be a mile away from you, but if there's no way to find out about it, is it really there? And I would also say that, you know, I'm sure you guys have heard the statistic that it takes the average trucker 50 minutes to find truck parking. We want to condense that down to 10 minutes or less. We want Truck Parking Club to be a platform where you can get on and if you're around any major interstate in the US, we want you to be able to find and reserve parking in 10 minutes or less from where you're at currently. So what we say is Truck Parking Club helps truckers save time and fuel by finding parking efficiently across the US. So
okay.
That's an overview of the company from a high level about what we do, kind of what we're thinking about truck parking, and the services that we offer. We're a platform where you can go find reserved parking in places that are convenient for you. And I would also say we're a viable option if the truck stop is full and if the rest stop is full near where you need to be. We're kind of that next option for overnight parking, but that's not really our niche. Our niche is, do you need to drop a trailer for 2 to 10 days? Then Truck Parking Club is a good option because there aren't a lot of places out there where you can book online in 2 to 3 minutes. You can reserve your 5 days because you need to drop a trailer. You need to do a drop and hook, whatever the case may be. We provide that option for truckers where there really isn't a platform out there that you can do that. You can't do that at the truck stop. You can't do that at the rest stop. So that's where we really found our niche, that and monthly parking. But as far as overnight parking, you know, we definitely understand that it makes a lot more sense if there's free parking around you. We say that that's a better option. If there's a rest stop down the street from one of our locations, it makes much more sense to use that instead of paying for parking. So we're not at all against free parking. We think there should be more. Seems like the federal government is trying to build more. We're kind of that next option if you really need it for overnight, if there's nothing around you that's available. And also, I would say on top of that, we're actually, in the next several weeks, we will be rolling out real-time availability of free parking in hundreds of locations across the U.S. We just haven't rolled it out yet.
Oh, that's awesome. So tell me this: is there any of your locations that you have, and if there's a driver out there that actually wants to park overnight, is there any of your location that has any kind of facilities to it, like bathrooms or showers?
Oh yeah, for sure. So our locations go from an empty lot that has no what we call amenities, all the way up to the full, gamut of everything: restrooms, food trucks, high security. And every single location that you go to on truckparkingclub.com is going to show you what's actually available, if there are actually any amenities, or is this just a vacant lot where you need to stop for a night or whatever the case may be, low security. The listing's going to tell you that, but it really ranges.
Right.
Across the board.
So I looked at some statistics, and I think that the average truck driver, I think he will spend a certain amount of time and a certain amount of just looking for a truck parking spot. Over a year's period. I can't remember what the actual statistic was, but it was amazing to me how much time is wasted just trying to look for a place to park, especially whenever he's running from 12 midnight to 5 or 6 in the morning. That's when you can't find places to park, And I think that what you got going on here is definitely a tool and an asset to the truck driver, him or herself. So anyway, I guess Steve, I'm going to let you pose the next question, Steve.
I'm just going to go back to the, you were saying it's not so much the overnight parking right now, it's the long-term parking. And I know back in my day of running the interstate in a little town I grew up in down home there in Missouri, we had a couple little places that we could park. You go in, you talk to them. Work a deal with them. You'll be there over the weekend. They knew your truck. They knew who you was, everything like that.
Yeah.
But then it got to the point that, you would come in on the weekend and your spot, so to speak, is gone. You got the outside guys are stopping for the weekend, or whatever. Excuse me. I noticed around my area up here in the Dayton area, people are buying up the property and putting it out there for guys to park on the weekends, drop their trailers, whatever. I'm not exactly sure how all that works, but are you getting a good reception from people with property? Are they liking this ideal, or are they real receptive to opening up their facility?
Yeah, we are getting a lot of positive feedback from what we call property members that host their property for truckers to park on. Most people on our platform are involved in transportation in some way, whether it's a trucking company, a CDL school. They all see it. They all see what's going on. And so some of it becomes like, it is obviously an exchange of money, of course, incentivized by money, but it's also like, well, if I have this extra space, I might as well put it on this platform. And we also have trucking companies that are on our platform as a host, but they also use it when their truckers are over the road too. So it's a little bit of both, but we're getting positive reception. And when we do get critical feedback on things, we're always working to improve. And we're constantly improving what we're doing, and we're constantly taking feedback from our customers and trying to improve the model. And we want to provide value to everyone involved.
So Evan, so whenever a driver goes to the shipper and he's there, and he can't find a place to park because they're not going to receive him until or load him until a couple hours. Is your facilities that you have, are they pretty convenient to the location that the driver might be? I know it's according to where it's at, but I mean, do you have them all over the United States now, or are you still building?
I mean, we're still building. It's we don't necessarily specifically look at like where we think shipper locations are and then plan around that. It's more organic of like, today we got a new location up in Massachusetts, and I think they saw us on a podcast or something. So we're not like necessarily plotting it out, but we're 79, 80 locations across the U.S. now, and really just getting started. We want to get that to a few thousand locations. The more locations we get closer to our goal of condensing the time that it takes to find parking down to that 10 minutes. So we still have a lot of work to do, but we do provide value to a lot of truckers. We're relatively dense in the Southeast.
I got you. So you're trying to find places really close to major interstates, if I'm correct, right?
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, that's going to be where most of the demand is and the lack of supply. So we do look at that, but we have locations that are kind of in the middle of nowhere, and funny enough, there's a demand there too. People need parking there too. And I think the biggest thing with those areas is like, it's people that they have a certain lane that came up and they only need it for maybe a month or two or a week or two. And I'm like, I don't know where I can drop a trailer around here. And so we provide some value in those situations too.
I got you. Go ahead, Steve.
What kind of cost are we talking here for the driver? Or the company? If it's a company driver, the company, he's in every weekend, wants to park his unit there, drop his trailer. What kind of cost are we talking?
It's going to vary really widely. We have stuff from $8 all the way up to like $40. And to be very clear, Truck Parking Club doesn't set the prices. Think more like Airbnb. You set your own price, but the market really ends up determining the price, because if you go too high, you're not going to get any bookings. If you go too low, you'll see you'll get insane demand because you're lower than everyone else in the market, which I guess isn't a bad thing, but the market usually ends up determining. But I would say like markets like Port of LA, Port Newark, Chicago are extremely expensive markets, and there's a huge lack of supply most of the time. That's cooled down a lot, but those markets are really different worlds from the rest of America. I would say the rest of America is $15-$20. It's pretty normal, maybe 25 for daily, and then for monthly, normal is probably $200 a month, something like that. But then you get into these Port Newark type markets, and it's could be anywhere from $700 to $1,000 a month.
Right. I noticed a question on here. Do you have salespeople going out and trying to solicit this, or are you just kind of going off the internet, or how's that work?
That's a good question. So up until the last couple of weeks, I would say, 75 out of our 79 locations have all been word of mouth. So I go on Truckers Voices, or I do an interview with someone at, Freight Waves or Transport Topics or something like that. And then people read about the company and then find interest as far as putting their properties on the platform. So it's been a lot of word of mouth, a lot of just talking to people, doing interviews, whatever the case may be. That's really gotten the word out there for us, almost all the properties today. And as far as truckers and things of that nature, we are going to trucking shows all across the U.S., Mid-America Trucking Show, 75 Chrome Shop, Kinley 95. Can't remember what our next one is. I think maybe Houston. I can't remember. But so we're traveling across the U.S. in our van. So we like the word of mouth. The outbound stuff is fine. A lot of times we are focusing on outbound because someone calls us and says, hey, we need 15 spaces in Huntington, West Virginia. And then in those scenarios, we'll go try to find it for them. But that's a newer thing for us. And I don't know if we're going to keep that around, but it's just something we're kind of trying out.
Okay. All right. So let me ask you this, Evan. If somebody wants to, if they know of a location or a property, how would they go about saying, hey, you might want to check this area out?
Yeah, for sure. So in those situations, we do referrals. We do referral fees for that. And you can just go to truckparkingclub.com. We have a contact us page, and we're on, I think, pretty much all the socials, from Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn. So you could hit us up on any of those channels as well. You could call our customer service line. I think you spoke with Tracy at one point.
Yep.
888-899-CARD, our customer service line. Call us anytime there, and just leave a message with our customer service about maybe there's a property, or you have a friend or something, or whatever the case may be, and we'll look into it and talk with you. And if it becomes something, we do referral fees. We do have people out there, especially from these trucking shows, that refer us to people who have these empty lots sitting in areas that should be parking trucks on them. It's never been a focus for them. And now we've provided something that makes it pretty easy for them to do.
Right. And and I think this is a great thing, and it's a good start. I know you can't solve the world's problems, but it is a great thing that you're doing. And that's what caught my eye and got me interested in it. Because Steve and I, we both have, we know that there's a truck parking problem out there, and it's an issue that really needs to be solved, because with over 3.6 million truck drivers out there, and then you got an aging population of truck drivers that's going to age out of the industry and have to be replaced with the shortage. If this economy turns around and everything starts booming, and you get these trucks on the road, you get more seats, butts in the seat. You're going to have more spaces for them butts to sleep at. And I just hate to put it that way, but it's true.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So anyway, go ahead, Steve. Yeah, I see you.
I was just gonna. Can we touch base on? I know your main deal is 2 and 3 day parking, monthly parking, but say I'm rolling up into excuse me, I'm rolling up into Dallas, and it's 7:30 at night, and how do I go about? What's the procedure? What do I do? Is there an app, or how do I pay? What's going on there?
Absolutely, for sure. And just to be clear, we do overnight parking. I just think that, there's this idea that maybe we're trying to get people to pay us instead of going and finding free parking. And we completely support free parking. We're not providing you a lot of value if there's free parking down the street. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to be clear about that. But you can do overnight if you can't find the free parking, if there's none available. But so you're rolling into Dallas. I believe we have 4 or 5 locations there. You can go to truckparkingclub.com. You can download our app on Apple App Store or the Google Play Store. But if you're driving, just call 888-899-PARK and talk to our customer service. Our customer service is made up of former truck drivers, and they're going to be able to talk you through it. Hey, where you headed in from? You looking east, west, north, south? You looking at Irving? You need to be close to the airport. What do you know what I mean? And they can talk you through it and actually do the booking over the phone. So you don't have to be fumbling with your phone at a red light. We can actually do it all for you. So you get the booking, you get to your place convenient. You're not having to pull over or anything like that to get the booking done. So we'll do it over the phone, hands-free booking as well.
Yeah, and Evan, I saw one of your videos to where you have truck parking right beside a McDonald's, and I noticed that you had like signs out there, and there was a QR code on the sign. Tell us how that works.
Yeah, so that's our first location that we've done that. That's hourly only, first come, first served parking, and that has a very interesting story around it because that lot used to be it has always been owned by the McDonald's owners, but people would just drop trailers there and disappear, and there wasn't any real use of truck parking out of it. And the owner of the property was repaving that whole back lot, and I guess the guy that was paving the lot for them had heard about our company and mentioned maybe there's something you could do there as far as being able to at least cover your costs for fixing the asphalt every few years. And they called us, and we created a solution for them to where a lot of times it was used as people dropping trailers, and the McDonald's wasn't even actually getting business. So it's become more of a formal parking situation where it's like people take their 10 a lot of times, or they take an hour, whatever the case may be. And from the app, if you're rolling down 65, you're able to see the number of spaces available in real time. So you know if you can stop and have a safe place to park that's off the shoulder. But how that works is it's kind of like a Park Mobile or whatever. You know, when you're in a city and you scan a QR code and pay, or they give you a number to text or whatever the case may be. You just scan the sign, and it's going to pop up and say how many hours do you want. And most of our bookings there are people taking their 10s at that location.
So how do you control somebody just pulling in there and parking?
I mean, that is up to the property owner on how they really want to police it. I mean, that lot previously was not policed at all. They just let people kind of do what they wanted, and what ended up happening was people would literally drop trailers or leave their truck and trailer for a week, and there was really no use of it for the people that are traveling down 65 and need to take their 10.
Right.
So it's just created a little more formal parking situation for truckers to where it gives them a place to stop, a place to eat. It is paid. So if you have a rest stop close, by all means. But what this has done is the property owner now feels like they can at least cover the cost, and people are actually coming there to use the facilities. And then they're taking their 10 and they're heading on down the road. I don't know if I answered your question, but
No, you did, and that leads me into segue into the next question. Security at your facilities. How does that work? As far as let's say I drop my trailer in one of your lots there, and I need to leave my trailer there for a couple of days. How secure is it going to be?
So it's a case-by-case basis. If you go to one of our listings on truckparkingclub.com or on the app, you're going to see what we call amenities. And those amenities are going to be, is it 24/7 access? Is it security? Is it fence gated? Are there cameras? Are there restrooms, food trucks, etc.? And you're going to know that there's a certain level of security based on the information that is provided to you. And then if you have any questions past that, always recommend just calling our customer service line, and they'll talk you through what you can expect at those facilities. But we have everything from an open lot to high security electric fences, 24/7 security, and really everything in between.
I got you. Go ahead, Steve.
Do you have any companies that utilize your parking areas for like meet and turns? Do their dropping hooks and go on? Is that something that has come about with you guys now?
Yeah, yeah, we're starting to do as the word gets out there. We're doing more of those as well.
Okay.
Yeah, we
It's good
recently
to
had
know.
something like that where we coordinated in Huntington Park, California, which is just outside the port of LA. It's just a super dense area. It's insanely packed, just with not only trucks but just people, and you know, it's every square inch. If you look at it on a map, it's just quite thin.
Right. Because a lot more companies are going to this meet and turn, running regional, trying to get their drivers home. You know, that's a big thing in the industry is home time, as well as the money. And I didn't know if this might be something that these companies are getting a hold of you, and of course you work out a money situation, you know, cost. But you know, because a lot of people they're just not hip on trucks just coming in there and dropping and swapping and parking and you know stuff like that. I mean, look at Walmart. Walmart's pretty much banned trucks from all their lots, you know, and that's how they get all their product. But drivers have we as drivers have done this to ourselves. You know, when you clean your ashtray out and dump it all on the ground, you throw all your trash and everything on the ground and drive off. I mean, so how I guess with that being said, how is that being policed? You know, so guys are not leaving old tires and trash and junk and everything on the parking lots.
Yeah, so it's really going to be up to the property owner on how that is policed and what measures they're going to go about. I would say, kind of going back to what we were talking about earlier, what we do is we create just a little more formal parking situation, and for those property owners, like we don't work with Walmart currently, but where it's a little bit of give and take. If like for example, McDonald's location, if they can make a little bit of money on it, they're going to be able to clean it up, you know, hire someone to clean it up and things of that nature, where it makes more sense. I think it's very likely at the McDonald's situation, they would have made it car parking because of the amount of stress it was putting on their employees. Just to be very honest with you, I think that was what was going to happen because it was just becoming a lot. But now that it's become a little more formal and they're at least making money to hire someone to go clean everything and or whatever needs to be done, you know, it's a little bit of give and take, I think. Um, so to answer your question, we don't create rules for what the property owner is going to do.
Okay.
We do create more of a formal situation because property owner knows when you're there because they're getting notified via the app, text, email. Have a little bit of information about you, so it's not just a more of a free for all. So it's just a little more. And also, I think when you create that normality, I mean, like at the McDonald's location, to be honest, we're not really having any issues. Knock on wood, but they're just people are there to use the facilities, take their 10 and head on down the road, and they, you know, appreciate that there's a safe place to park for.
Right. I do have one more question. You just brought up something in my little brain. You know, back where I grew up, a little town in Missouri, we was about an hour or so south of St. Louis, and there was a lot of car pulling, van pulling, stuff like that. I know this is truck parking, and I don't want to get away from the truck parking, but have you had any call for people that live outside the city to utilize this to park while they go, you know, van pool or whatever have you had any of that inquiry with the four wheelers?
I don't know if I'm tracking what you're saying. You're asking me if
Like say people, well, we'll use that McDonald's parking lot for an example. I know exactly where it's at. I used to pass it every day on my way down to Bowling Green.
yeah.
But say it was a little farther south of Louisville, and you know, locals wanted to utilize this parking area instead of park at a Walmart or something like that. Have you had any inquiries about locals wanting to park there while they van pull into work or something like that?
You're saying locals with cars.
Yeah, with cars.
Well,
wanting,
I think what he's trying to say is park their rig there while they like go home for a extended period of time, right, Steve?
no.
Okay.
If your locals,
Yeah, I'm tracking. I got what you're saying.
yeah, look, the locals
in the truck parking spot.
Yeah, have you had any inquiries about that? I mean,
we haven't had any inquiries, but that's not our business. We would not take that reservation.
Okay. That's what I was trying to get at is, say somebody lives, a group of people live an hour out of the city, and that's where they all work.
Yeah.
So they're wanting to congregate their 10 or 15 cars and they get in an 18 passenger van and just, drive into work.
Yeah.
I just wondered if you had any inquiries. People see trucks parking there. They think they can park there,
Yeah, it's not our business and it doesn't align with our mission. So we wouldn't entertain any car parking of any kind at any of our facilities. Now,
sorry about that. I kind of went way around the barn to get there, but
yeah, no, I got you.
One other thing. Do you have people with motorhomes wanting to utilize that for 6, 8, 10 hours, get a little rest while they're traveling?
We haven't had any book at the McDonald's location that I'm aware of to date. That's a tough one. I would rather we keep it open for truckers, and I'm not just saying that for this show.
I totally agree.
I'm really, we have a mission, that we want to help truckers find parking.
Todd Stein.
Easier.
To accept one. To send a voicemail, press 2.
I'm sorry, y'all. There's a call coming in, so let's field a question, okay?
Yeah, sure. That's fine.
All right, who do we have on the line here?
This is Todd Stein, a.k.a. Sniper.
Hey, Sniper. Let me hold on, Sniper. Hey, can everybody hear him?
Yes. Yeah. What's going on, Sniper?
Yeah.
Okay, I got a question, and I wanted to explain how I handle parking. First of all, I'll start off with a question. On long-term parking, like say you got a regional guy, he parks his truck on the weekends, does he have a spot for his car to sit there all week while he's out trucking?
If he has a monthly reservation at all our facilities, that actually I was rolling into that with Steve when he mentioned the thing earlier. That's they can switch their cars in and out. And when they book, if they're going to switch their car in and out, they'll leave information about their car to make sure that the property owner knows it's supposed to be there. But absolutely, if they're paying for a monthly, they can definitely leave their car at, I believe, all of our locations.
Okay, yeah, because I work for a company in New Jersey and I live in Pennsylvania, and I actually park. I'm a company driver, and the company pays rent to park at another trucking company's lot. They have a fairly big lot, and they only have about 6 trucks. So there's about 4 or 5 different companies that park there, and I'm allowed to leave my car sit there all week while I'm out trucking, and it works out great. But what I do and what my company does, it's a very unique business model, but it really solves the parking problem for us. We are an all day cab fleet. Every single one of our trucks is a day cab, and some of us are home every day. Most of us are regional, and some of us are 48 states long haul. And I'm kind of a blend between the regional and over the road. Most of the time I'm regional, but once in a while I'll take a long trip. But our unique business model is, since we're running day cabs, is we stay in hotels. And we have an app where we book the hotels, and it's direct billed through the company. And The only trick there is you have to get a bird's eye view of the parking lot of the hotel you're staying at to determine if you can park there. And you can do that directly through the app, or you can do that through Google Maps, either or. But I've been doing this for 13 years, and I came off of a sleeper berth job, over 10 years over the road in a sleeper berth to 13 years over the road in a day cab staying in hotels. And even if I'm picking a hotel at 10, 11 o'clock at night, I'll find a place to park. The hotels that actually have truck parking, you can typically fit 6, 7 trucks there. And when you get there, there might be 2 or 3 trucks there. So I never have an issue finding parking at hotels. You just got to know which hotels have parking.
Right, right. Well, Todd, we appreciate you calling the show tonight. And speaking of finding parking, since you do run sometimes, over the road quite a bit, do you see a lot of truck stops, that don't have parking?
Like certain, I don't want to mention any name brands, but certain truck stops have small parking lots, and they fill up by 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And the one pattern I've noticed, especially running late evenings, is when you go by an exit or early mornings, if you go by an exit that has 2 or 3 truck stops, you will see 10 or 15 trucks lined up on the on and off ramps at those exits, because the truck stops are full and parking on the ramps the only option.
Right.
I think some of it is driver doesn't want to take the time to try to wiggle into that tight spot, so they just do the ramp just for ease of parking, but it's not really safe.
Right. And that's the key to it. And that's what I like about what Evan's got going on here, that if someone does it or they're in a bind, he wants to cut down on the time that the driver is trying to find a parking space, and like we all know, if you get past 6 o'clock in the afternoon, they're going to start filling up, So yeah, this is a great thing, and it's a great option to have. And like he said, definitely go for the free parking, but have this as an option. Definitely. So Scott,
the hotels, the hotels never charge for parking, but you're paying $100 for a hotel. So
that's true.
It's not free. You're paying for the hotel.
Right.
So the parking is just the benefit of or stay at the hotel.
Right.
There is one hotel I can think of. It's on the west side of Atlanta that has a very big parking lot, and they actually charge even hotel guests to park there.
Yeah, I can believe that in Atlanta for sure. Going up there every day, I can believe everything, But anyway, well, Todd, thank you for calling in tonight. It's good to hear you in there, Sniper.
All right, good to talk to you guys too, and stay safe out there.
All right, you too, Captain.
See you, brother. Truck safe. Evan, this parking lot up here south of Louisville, is that the only one you've got right now? How many more do you have possibly coming online?
You're saying as far as with hourly?
The hourly parking.
Yeah, so we're talking with various companies that may have some options. We don't have any more currently coming online at the moment.
Okay.
What do you guys think about that? What's your guys' opinion about that?
I actually kind of like that. If I was back on the road running, I think I would really like that. You can do your trip planning, see where one of them's at, because it's getting to the point 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You're seeing these truck stops fill up.
Mm-hmm.
So your free parking is leaving you pretty quick. And if you're not going to end till 9, 10, 11, maybe midnight, you're really not going to find any place to park. And like I was reading one of the things there, somebody was in a conference. Drivers are stopping 45 to 60 minutes ahead of schedule.
Yeah.
That's 45, 50, 60 miles farther you can be down the road.
Yeah.
So,
how we think about it.
If you could find more of the hourly parking, I think this thing would really take off, me personally. Now I don't know what the charge rate is. I don't even know what they charge at the truck stops because I don't utilize the truck stops. But I'd be worth paying a couple bucks to secure my spot so I could get to that location, get my 11-hour drive time in that day, and do my 10-hour break and then scurry on. But then that brings up the question: do you have amenities? Does this facility have a washroom? I could go in and brush my teeth, wash up a little bit, clean up before I take off.
Yeah, and something like the McDonald's would not have that. It's better than nothing, right? As far as you have a restroom and you have food, but you're not going to have the truck stop type amenities.
Right.
But I like the fact that it is an option, and you're not on the shoulder of the road or on the ramp somewhere parked out there where it's unsafe. Speaking of questions here, I got a question on the screen here. It says, Evan, do you plan to expand into Canada sometime?
We've had people call about Canada and had locations in Canada, but to be honest, we're just very, very focused on the U.S. We know it's a huge problem here, and we know we're getting to know the U.S. market and our customers better and better every day, and we're just very focused on the United States right now.
Right. Here's another question from a Facebook user. It says, do you have people going out asking if salespeople to get places? Did you ask that a while ago, Steve? Did you ask that question?
Yeah, I think I asked if you had salesmen that went out or whatever.
Yeah, we're just not doing a ton of it
at
the moment. We kind of just started in the last couple of weeks. We're seeing how it goes.
All right. Yeah. Well, there's a follow-up question and it says, are the reps working from home, and is it all over the nation, just in the area where the reps is? So, you have anybody that's doing any like work from home type stuff for you?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of our company is remote. We kind of work everywhere. I would say we have our van and we're putting the miles on the van. So when we get new locations or there's a truck show, we're driving wherever it is. We're headed out to Vegas in 3 weeks.
Right.
From Kentucky. So we're putting the miles on it. We're meeting the people that we're putting on the platform. We're shaking their hand, getting to know them, putting up signs. Really, our biggest thing is we want to create a community of property members that has respect for truckers, and that truckers feel like they're, when they work with Truck Parking Club, that they're well taken care of and they have top-notch customer service. We are very, very, very focused on maintaining the best customer service for truckers, because I'm not a trucker, but I do know anecdotally that the customer service for truckers is insanely horrible in a lot of scenarios. It's wild. And we want to be the exact opposite of that.
Okay. All right. And I want to ask you this question. The name of your company is Truck Parking Club. Okay. So it sounds like a club that you got to belong to it. You got to pay a membership and stuff like that. Is that the case, or am I just totally off base?
No, you're not the first person to ask that, for sure. No, we had the URL, to be honest, and we had the name, and there's a ring to it. And then ultimately, we want to be a community, which is a club. There are no fees at all to be on the platform at all, of any kind. We do a revenue share model, so we get a cut of the booking. But ultimately, I think, especially with larger carriers, I believe this might be the case in the future. We may do some type of subscription model for people that want to do it. to where you pay a certain number of dollars per month, whatever that number ends up being, and we guarantee you a space at any of our, at that point, hopefully thousands of locations across the U.S. So a subscription model where we guarantee your spaces. So you mentioned, Steve, planning out your route. What if you had your over the road and you're going across the country and you need to plan out 3 stops over the course of several days? What's that worth to be able to plan that out to make sure that you can know that you're parking for it? I understand routes change and things change, but that's a thought, and that if we execute, hopefully that's something we can offer to people that it makes sense to them. So ultimately, there may be some type of model like that for the people that want it. For the people that don't want it, we will operate as normal.
I got you. All right. So Evan, do you have any companies that's buying into Truck Parking Club? I'm just going to throw a random name out there, ABC Trucking. Are they actually buying into it?
Buying in,
like using your services for their drivers.
Yeah.
Okay. So you do have some clients that are saying, hey, you know what? I'm going to use your app and I want my drivers to stay at your lots, and.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. I mean, we're getting tons of bookings every day all across the U.S. Steve, I believe maybe it was you, Tim, that brought up the point of like coming into this weekend. Today was we had a ton of like 4 and 5 day bookings, especially in the more dense areas. So we're absolutely working with a ton of trucking companies all across the U.S. We're not doing any type. Maybe you were alluding to this. We're not doing any type of like cutting deals with truckers for them to get some kind of edge or something like that. We're not doing anything like that at all. It's
Right.
really like use us when you need us is really our model.
Okay. All right. Well, Steve, we are at 8:58. Can you believe that, man? We went almost an hour.
Man,
so.
we're doing good. We're doing good. It's a lot of good information. Just real quick, reiterate the hourly truck parking lots. You said there's going to be more coming on in the future?
We don't have anyone like in line. I would tell you if we had like another one in route. We are talking with companies for sure, but we don't have another one that is like in queue and it's going to happen tomorrow.
Right.
But I think in some scenarios it makes sense to create a more formal parking arrangement. I know we got to leave here soon, but I just to like keep asking you guys a question. What do you guys think about like a corporate client? Like, we're working with McDonald's, but obviously all the McDonald's owners are small, typically small owners. They're not actually McDonald's, but something like working with a corporate, like, Walmart, from my understanding, like 99% of the locations, they run off truckers. I believe that to be correct.
Right.
What are your thoughts on creating formal arrangements with companies like that where truckers could actually park there without having to worry about getting booted, towed, etc.? What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I just want to put my opinion out there. I don't believe it's Walmart. I believe it's a lot of the municipalities, the small communities, the towns, townships that the Walmart is in that is enforcing that rule. Because and Walmart's got to go along with it. It's a town law. We got to abide by it. So I don't think a lot of it. But if you could work a deal with Walmart, I think that would be great. Warehouses, like you said, I believe it. And I believe if we could get more of the hourly parking, a guy would secure himself. But then what you might end up with down the road, you might end up with empty truck stops and all your lots are full. So you know how that works. Everybody's jumping hey, I'm just going to go pay to park here. So I've got a secure spot.
Yeah, for sure. And I would say, like, we do daily at, I believe, all of our locations. We have daily arrangements. Some of them, some of the properties go really high rates on their daily because they don't want to mess with daily. They'd rather do monthly. But we do have daily options at all of our locations, which isn't necessarily as convenient as hourly because you can't pop in for an hour or two on your break, which is unfortunate. But we do have a lot of locations that do daily for stopovers. If it's a convenient location to you and you just can't find that free parking, that's there. We do want to get more active with the hourly. I think it's possible at some of our current locations we'll work in hourly for the people that need it for a shorter amount of time and to save a little bit of money if they only need to stop for a short period of time.
Right.
So, Evan, I do want to go to the comment right here. The last one that I see that come in here, it says it's from Scott Post. He's a good friend of ours. He actually drives for FedEx Ground, and he's out of Minnesota. But he says, may I suggest a database of electrical recharging stations available with parking as we move toward electric trucks? It may be a slow build at first, but you would have an edge on them someday. And I will go ahead and say to Scott, I think, Scott, that would be up to the property owners. Am I correct in saying that?
Yes.
Yeah, it would be up to the property owners. We just have a direct line to the property owners. So we, if there were a scenario where we thought, let's work on scaling out EV charging for trucks, we would have the ability to reach a lot of people pretty quickly on trying to get that installed. But it isn't our choice.
Right. Well, gentlemen, I do appreciate you coming on. Evan, Steve, I appreciate you coming on as you always do and helping me out with the show. But it's been very informative, and I hope that some drivers out there that has seen and listened to what we got going on tonight will take advantage of it. And if you're listening to it on the replay on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, hey, you reach out to Evan, go and download the app. It's on the Google Play Store and on the Apple App Store there. So it's a great app. Just go check it out because it shows a lot of locations that he has on the app there. But Evan, thank you very much for giving your time to us tonight. And we hope that, that some people that's listening will reach out to you in the future.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for having me on. And I would also say, I really appreciate you guys having me on. And I would, for anybody that's listening to this or hears this, we appreciate all feedback, even if it's negative. Let us know. Let us know what your thoughts are, even if it's not something that we want to hear, because we want that feedback. We're always trying to improve. Our goal is to provide value to the trucker, to be able to find parking and know about available parking. And if there's things that you don't think make sense, please let us know. I mean, that's why we hire former truckers. Like, we want to design this company in a way that is really advantageous to the trucker, not just a company that is looked at as we're creating paid parking. We're trying to save truckers time and fuel by efficiently finding parking so they're not looking for parking.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much, Evan. And we'll have to have you back on in the future and give us an update on how it's going. But anyway, me and Steve, we always leave with a word of safety for the day. Anything you want to say, Evan, to the truckers out there about being safe?
Yeah. I know it's a very difficult profession, and it can be very difficult. And I hope that, with some of our secure facilities, we can help you guys be a little more at ease about, when you take your 10 or whatever the case may be. Or we really hope that we can help with affect some change and providing availability for that type of secure parking.
All right. Steve, what do you got to say, brother?
Remember, folks, it's going to be busy, busy, busy. Take your time, slow down, take a break, whatever. But, the most important trip is that trip home. You want to make it home. So God bless y'all. Evan, thank you, brother. Appreciate all you're doing.
That's great. Thank you.
Yeah, and listening audience, I do appreciate it. It will be up on Spotify and Apple probably tomorrow afternoon or by this weekend. So anyway, y'all can go back and listen to it. And what I always say, and like Steve said a while ago, it's going to be busy, traffic volume's picking up, and people are going to be absolutely not looking out for everybody around them. But you got to look out for those who aren't looking out for themselves. Steve, we got these shirts here that we still going to try to sell. I've got another run I'm going. They're already sold. I got another run sold already. So anyway, y'all let me know if you want some Trucker Voices shirts there. But anyway, before we go off the air, Steve, I have one little video I'm going to try to play, and if it don't play, I'll just cut and we'll just go off air, okay? But let me play this video, okay?
All right, buddy. I just want real quick. I want to say thank you to everybody supporting the show, listening to the show, giving us feedback.
Right.
This past weekend, I passed out a lot of our cards. A lot of people knew about us, heard about us, and hopefully they'll give us a call. Come on in. We'd like to talk to you. Hear your story.
The show's growing. That show's growing for sure.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all.
All right, y'all check this video out, and then we're going off there.
Good evening. We want to tell Tim Taylor and Steve Brand, we love Truckers' Voices. We're just finishing up a Touch a Truck event in White Bear Lake, Minnesota. And we've got Henrietta, the highway Holstein, that says move over. And it looks like this construction vehicle here, I think they're digging some post walls. Something about putting in a billboard for somebody that has a podcast every Thursday night. So we'll see how much progress they make by June 14th. Have a good evening and be safe out there.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I love it.
Y'all have a great night, Steve. I'll see you on the other side.